fake smile. You don't even walk like a normal person, you can lie.
My highly tuned senses detect another predator sniffing around one of my cubs. I love you, Deb.
Y'all gotta be giving me a round of applause for that intro. I mean, that shit was immaculate. But regardless, Dexter's gonna start his day at 6 in the morning. He's hella eager. He's a blood splatter analyst, so I guess it makes sense. You know, Miami Metro Police, they gotta get up early. And I know you might be thinking like, is this gonna be a professional cinematic video? And I'm sorry, but that was just like some intro shit. I'm really just going to be talking, but stick it through because I promise it'll be entertaining. I'm assuming it takes Dexter 15 to 30 minutes to do his morning routine. That's considering that he woke up in his own bed.
Blade, cutting her palm very deeply, exactly like yours.
After Dexter finishes his morning routine, he'll usually commute to work or get hit with the gnarliest side quest from his sister.
I want out of ICE and into homicide.
What can I do to help?
He'll show up at the office at 7 a.m. and give everybody donuts, including Masuka. After doing some further research, I saw that it says Sadie's Donuts, which I thought would be an actual donut shop in Florida, but it's not. It's just a practical set, so you guys can't actually go there and get donuts if you're curious. After Dexter gives out his donuts and sits down in his lab, it's gonna hit 7:30 in the morning when he's gonna be annoyed by Dokes. This is a common occurrence when Dokes is alive, and he's basically gonna pester and be a nuisance to Dexter because he knows.
What did you hear that?
A friend said it to me in a moment of stress.
Boy, you don't have any friends. You're hiding something. And one day I'm gonna figure out what it is.
Dokes always kept it a buck, so I gotta respect him for that. Which is why he probably didn't last long, but it is what it is. But at around 8 a.m, you're gonna catch Dexter either in his lab doing work with Masuka, or you're gonna catch him doing some heinous activity. Dexter always finds a way to get to his next victim, so like most of the time he's never even doing work.
Bet this guy never expected his work to see the light of day.
Bet you're right.
Dexter acts very cold and plain, kind of like a bagel, but I feel like that's why nobody really understands him or gets his twisted obsession. The pros with being 6 foot and nonchalant is that Dexter never really gets affected by the crime scenes, or I guess you could say he's kind of emotionless. One thing that does affect him though is that it's 9 a.m. and Dexter's gonna be heading to his first crime scene. Dexter's gonna examine the body, get some news, get the blood work, maybe he takes some photos and takes some notes. Oh yeah, by the way, Dexter has a laminate, not a badge. Whenever Dexter's at a crime scene, he gets really into his job. Like he'll put up these blood node strings or whatever, and he's actually like the #1 blood splatter analyst. One thing to also take into account is Dexter's sister, and while he's out doing this crime scene stuff, she's gonna call him. She's probably gonna hit him with something like, hey, like today's a great exciting day, why don't we go out for lunch or drinks or something. But that's only if Deborah wasn't on the case with Dexter. If that was the case, then it's gonna be Rita. Rita's gonna call in and be like, hey, I miss you, or something. At around 10 a.m, Dexter's gonna take a well-deserved and well-needed coffee break with Deborah, but Dexter doesn't even want coffee. The only reason he's actually taking this break is so he could get some intel on the Bay Harbor Butcher. If you guys didn't know, that's him. You know, there's a case that's going on about him, and he has to just get the background information to make sure he's safe. Remember when I said Dokes is gonna be a nuisance? Well, during the time that Deborah and Dexter were having a coffee, Dokes was watching him in his car. Okay, he does this regularly. This topples on Dexter's workload and just makes him more stressed out, but hey, at least the clock is ticking. And what I really mean by that is that 2 hours just went by and now it's 12 p.m. The one thing I think Dexter cares about the most is his kids, well, quote unquote kids. They're Rita's kids, but he cares for them a lot. So basically he's gonna punch out his card at lunch, take his break, and go see Rita and the kids. Once Dexter gets to Rita's house, he's gonna have the most original conversation. It's almost like an unskippable cutscene with Rita and the kids. But then just as you start to get bored, you realize Dexter is in trouble. And what I mean by that is back at the station, they just got undeniable news on who the Bay Harbor Butcher is. Dexter is damn near in shambles, but he's gonna find a way to get out of this because somehow he always does. So he basically tells Rita, hey, there's a crime scene I have to report to, and I have to leave right now. Dexter gets back to the police station where they have literally undeniable evidence against Dexter. But like I told y'all, he's gonna get away with it because somehow he always does.
Explain it to us.
Trophies.
That's what I thought.
What happens now?
I know this will come as a shock to you, Morgan, but our primary suspect is someone you know well. Sergeant James Dokes.
It's crazy that they found Dexter's evidence and immediately turned it onto Dokes. How are you gonna do Dokes like that? Hasn't he been a detective for like 20 years? Now it's 2 p.m. and Dexter has to let off some steam because this day has not been going so well for him. So he finds his next victim in his office and he pinpoints their location and exactly who his target's gonna be. But damn it, here comes Deb walking straight into his office, telling him that there's a case he needs to hop on right now. Deb is like a cock block for every Dexter murder, but it's alright because Dexter now gets to do some blood work. But wait a second, there's no blood work on this case. In fact, there's no blood at all. This gets Dexter hooked on the case, but wait till he realizes that it's his brother. It runs in the family, I don't know. And yes, his brother was dating his sister because the brother is not related. You get the idea. I think we all get the idea of how Dexter's daytime goes, so I'm just gonna skip from 2 p.m. to like 6 p.m. The sun's starting to go down, and that's when the heinous activities come out. And when I mean heinous, I mean heinous. Dexter's either going to be surprising us with his love life or a brand new kill. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, I would really appreciate it if you could just give me some recommendations for some more day in the lives if you guys want to see that. I would love to turn this idea into a series, so if you have any movies or TV series that have an entertaining character's life, put your recommendation down below. But back to Dexter, it is 6 p.m. and Dexter actually needs to get a kill, okay? He's stressed beyond belief, so what he does is he grabs his needles and he gets ready. Dexter usually finds his victim lacking in like a very remote location, or he'll go out at night and just like sneak into their crib. Regardless, he knows how to get that shit done. Once Dexter knocks you out, he puts you on a table, he straps you down. That's when you know you're cooked. At this point in time, it's probably going to be around 7 to 8 p.m, if not later, but let's just say it's 7 to 8. If you end up on Dexter's table, which I hope never happens to you, but if you do, he's basically going to mess with you and tell you everything you've done wrong. And he'll say your time's up and he'll, yeah. After the sometimes he gets post-kill clarity, which he handles in many ways, but usually after this, he relieves his stress by dumping the body. He takes his nice boat out into the ocean wave, and he dumps you for the sharks, man. That's what he does. But just as Dexter was gonna head home and call it a day, he ends up running into this ice truck, and like he remembered earlier about the ice truck case, he decides to follow it. Dexter tails the truck until he realizes that it's gonna hit a U-turn. Dexter thinks the truck is just gonna head home, but what he realizes is that the truck throws a severed head on his windshield, causing him to get another clue for his case. Dexter comes home and he asks Deborah to come over, where they discuss the ice truck killer case, and they just have a good night. One more fun fact about Dexter is that
I love Halloween.
now it's 10:30 p.m. and it's officially time for Dexter to head to bed.
Wait, I am such a twat. I can't believe I almost slipped up about your mum. Mind you, it could have been worse. Could have spilled the beans about our road trip. That would have been a bloody
Don't you dare.
Can you imagine Mita's face if I told her that you and I had spent the night together in a hotel?
This dude has always got something up his sleeve, and it seems like he's not going to be getting a good night's rest. But that's what you get for trying to fit in, Dexter. I mean, that's on you, man. But regardless, that's going to be the end of the video. I appreciate all of y'all for making it to the end, of course, man. If y'all think you would like my content, then you might as well subscribe. I mean, I've got like 5 right now, so it would help out for sure. But yeah, thank y'all, and later.